folks, have you heard about Orangina Pervilicious Felonia Schlumper McPhee's event at Madison Square Garden? Yeah. Well, it was more like a test kitchen for racists and misogynists than a rally. And boy, they had a tasting menu of all kinds of MAGA snacks. Of course, they served the favorites. Eminem and Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce were there. I mean, Eric, Don Jr., and Lara Trump. So tasty. Rounding out the family, the official version of Melania showed up, not the body double. Vanke and Jared stayed home to count their Saudi billions again, and nobody bothered to call Tiffany, because they never do. Well, the meat of the evening was the vulgarity, and it was served raw like carpaccio. One speaker called Harris the Antichrist, and another said she had pimp handlers. Standard fare for an assholery extravaganza. It was interesting, though, because the lineup was long and nasty, but nobody topped the bottom, delivered by a comedian named Tony Hinchcliffe. Apparently, Tonester has a podcast named Kill Tony, but he's clearly looking for a slot in Orangina's administration, because he was in it to win it at the Garden. Well, Tony Boy is a mustached man on the outside and on the inside. He's got a little nasally voice and seemingly a very damaged inner child who's trying to earn a spot in the hearts and minds of MAGA, which is a tough task because the minions haven't been able to locate their hearts and minds ever since Orangina told them all they needed to be in the cult was their assholes and fatty livers. Well, Tonester knew the assignment, and he didn't waste any time. He started by calling out, "Where are my Latinos in the audience?" Not to shower praise on them for their devotion to the Orange Savior. Nah, he was identifying the targets, in case anyone in the audience wanted to haul off and punch someone before the end of the evening. Yeah. Tonester singled them out and then basically called them illegals, who weren't welcome. And the crowd was like, yay, racism! The Tonester made some lewd comments about Latinos making babies because they don't pull out and they come inside, like illegals come into the country. I know, not funny, but everyone knows racists respond more to racism than humor. Tonester threw in a reference to eating the cats and dogs. Then he said there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now, and it's called Puerto Rico. And the audience was like, yay, even more racism. He associated Travis Kelce with O.J. Simpson. There was no joke there. He just figured Trav's name would conjure up a man who doesn't batter his girlfriend, and that would be enough to garner a hateful reaction. And it did. Go Tonester. He brought up P. Diddy because the campaign lives for depraved sexual assault stories. He called attention to a black guy in the audience just to cue up his joke about black people carving watermelons for Halloween. Again, no comedy in sight, just the racism. That was all he had to give. And MAGA was like, I don't know why that was funny, but boy, we hate black people and that's a laugh riot. Yeah, it kind of went like that the rest of the time. He was like, Ukraine is taking our money, and the audience groaned. Palestinians have nothing but rocks to throw at Israel, and the audience laughed. Then he brought up Hillary Clinton, because baby men always do, and the audience roared, because baby MAGA minions always do. Then on to the blowjob reference, hardy-har. Then he talked about the Butler PA sorta, kinda, but not really attempt on Orangina's life. Tee-hee, yada yada yada. Yeah, folks, it was about as funny as Hulk Hogan is young and Stephen Miller is handsome. Womp womp. It does beg the question, though. Has Orangina decided to throw the election and let Doughboy Muckster shoot him into outer space? Or let Putin take him on as a devoted intern? Because Tonester's nasally D-list bit didn't do much more than remind everyone that black and brown people are out of their living minds to vote for a guy who wants nothing else but to see them ridiculed and rejected. And after all that, when Orangina took the podium 2 hours late, the crowd was questioning whether they had the stamina to be able to do the job of Nazis after all, and they vowed next time to stay home and tune in from their lazy boys, where the beer is cheaper and they can Google any of the references they don't understand without anybody knowing they don't know shit. Well, Tonester and MAGA and Orangina Pervilicious Felonia Schlumper McPhee have the day that you deserve.